y'all doing this evening? Good, good. Thank you everybody for coming out on a Tuesday evening. Yes, yes. My name is Shannon McCollum. I'm a photographer. I specialize in tour photography, so this is a big honor to be before you guys because I've been doing this for 35 years, and I don't see nobody in here that look 35. So long as you've been in the womb, I've been shooting. This is kind of interactive, so feel free to ask questions. Really, what I'm really here for is just to share some knowledge. I'm not trying to tell you things that you're probably not going to hear in your future, but I think that there is nothing like having an OG in your life. You know what I mean? Somebody that could just share a little knowledge, somebody that's been there before you. People that become legends and great at their artistry, they usually take from the past, and they usually take notes, or they usually take references from someone that's did the same thing before. So I hope that's why you're here. At the beginning of my career, 35 years ago, back around 1990, 89 or 90 when I picked up a camera, I just studied a lot of photographers. My dad is a photographer, still is. So, when you got somebody in your life at an early age of you deciding to pick up a camera, it's everything. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's everything. I always keep a mentor in your life, and besides this class, if I can always be of help or be of anything, my Instagram is my name, Shannon McCollum. Shoot me a DM. I always respond. I'm not too big or anything, not to answer questions or just, hey, what you think about this or what you think about that. So just get that part out the way. So yeah, tour photography. You don't walk in an office and fill out an application, okay? It ain't that type of situation. You don't get into it like that. You almost fall into it. You know what I mean? You almost really fall into it. And what I mean by saying that is it's based around who you are. It's based around who've recommended you. It's based around your work and your work ethic. People now you get the opportunity to have what I call a storefront. Instagram is your storefront, TikTok is your storefront. These are places where you can put your photographs, and people can, from anywhere in the world, they can access you on your page. Me coming up in the 90s shooting, I didn't have that opportunity. What photographers had to do, we had to walk around with a portfolio. We had to walk around with a portfolio, and a portfolio basically, you got your best shots, and that portfolio might have held 20 pictures. And within that portfolio, you had to come walk in somebody's studio, you had to come walk in somebody's office and say, this is what I do. Here's my work. And they sit behind a desk like this, and they critique your work. And they'll make a decision off if they want to hire you or not. Now, when it comes to the music industry, how many of you guys shoot anything with the music industry now? You, who else? You as well, okay. So, and I know you, Victor, you do too. The music industry is a little different. You know what I mean? It's a little different, and it's a little bit of a beast, and it's a little bit of arrogance. It's a little bit of cockiness. It's a little bit of bravado, and in the music / entertainment business, the way I always went about it was. It was really based off referrals. It was really based off of getting to know the right people that were connected to the right people. Does that make any sense? Yeah. So, I started just Atlanta was bubbling around 90 in the music industry. Really before that, but when it came to Atlanta hip hop. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of my past and then we'll move forward. We had LaFace Records, we had So Def, and these were labels that were the bigger names, and we had a bunch of subsidiaries that were smaller labels. But how you got your foot in the door is, who you knew. You know what I mean? Who you knew, and more importantly, as one of my homeboys like to say, who know you? Who knows you? So for me, I went to Clark, so I'm on campus. I'm at the AU. There are parties. Back then, when I was at Clark, there was DJ Drama. I don't know if y'all know who DJ Drama is, but DJ Drama went on to do a whole mixtape series, Gangsta Grills. That was all the DJs back in the day. A big group of DJs in Atlanta were called the Super Friends, and it was Trauma and Mars and all these guys that were also guys that were connected to artists, and that DJ for artists, and that DJ for Chris Cross, and that DJ for Jermaine Dupri. So I started shooting on campus. I started shooting on campus because it opened the door for me to get in parties. I just, when you're in college, you want to go to parties. You want to hang out, you want to go to parties. You low-key broke. And, there's nothing like, my pops once told me, he said, hey man, the camera gonna get you in a lot of rooms. It'll be able to get you in a lot of rooms. So, I'm shooting parties, I'm meeting people, and when you have that camera, you have to, I like to call it, you have to be on offense, okay? You have to be confident. You have to own the room with your camera. You can't be a shy photographer in shooting entertainment, in the music business. You have to belong, whether you shy or not. And I've been shy all my life until probably 10, 15 years ago. Maybe not even that long. But you have to own it. You have to even carry it like you belong there. Okay, that's a first thing. Okay, you have to really belong in that room. So what I mean by that is, and it's a little easier now with social media, you kind of can find out who the important people are at the party. You can kind of find out who the important people in the event that you may be at shooting. Now, you may not get paid to shoot certain events, and a lot of events in the beginning, you're not going to get paid. But what happens is what I'm going to tell you that's more important than getting paid in the beginning, which may sound crazy, but it's so important, is building stock photos. Building your photos. Build your photos. And what building your photos is going to do is going to give people the opportunity to see how you work in different settings, to see how you move, to see, okay, I saw you at that party last Friday. I remember, old boy. Oh, okay, I saw her at the party. Okay. So not only are you building photography stock photos, you're also having the opportunity to be seen. Okay? Yes. Stock photos is basically just stockpiling your pictures, just taking a bunch of pictures. You know what I mean? Just taking a bunch of pictures. And what it does also, it gives you the opportunity to go back and load them up to your phone or your computer and go through and see your work, And if you get hired, I say, whatever the promoter, whatever the tour manager, whatever they tell you, these are the shots we're looking for. Whomever hires you to do a shoot, they're gonna tell you what they're looking for, okay? When they tell you what they're looking for, get those shots and get more. Get those shots, but get more. That's the key, okay? Because you're gonna cover your bases on what they want. Yes. Second, let him go first. I'm sorry, you go. I saw you saying first.
When it comes to a portfolio,
yes.
Do you think that it's wise to just stay in, like you're just shooting people, keep it a bunch of people, or should it be various different things to show people what you can shoot?
Yeah, show them your range.
Show your range.
Yeah.
Cars, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because now what happens is, you may end up with a little baby and he want to shoot with his cars. You know what I mean? So let them see that how dope you shoot cars, and then but also make sure you get your people stuff, and that kind of stuff. So you may end up on the long haul of things, this being your specialty, but it's not stopping you from saying, hey, I can do this too. But you're gonna have to have the work to show you can do that. You can talk it, but people are visual. People want to see, when they hire photographers, they want to see your work. You can talk how good you are, but they want to see what you got to back it up. Yes, you were going to ask.
I would like to talk about, I feel like during the conversation, you probably already answered it.
Okay.
I was going to ask, how much input do photographers really have in the creative direction while you're on?
So, this is what I would say. I would say this. Before they hire you to take you on the road, they seen your work, okay? So they know what they want from you and because of what they're expecting, but also the stuff that you shot were your ideas. They were your ideas. So you got a leg up already, even though they're hiring you because of, hey, we need a photographer to go out and do this. We need you to be able to upload photos so we can use them for press. We can use them to put in your client's story. We need the reel, whatever. But it starts with you. So it's your eye. The name of my company is Same Camera, Different Eye. Okay, that's my company, okay? Because we all got cameras. We all got $3,000 cameras. We got $2,000 cameras. We got $500 cameras. It's really what's behind the camera. It is. Some of us can have Canons with the L series lenses and the nice glass and all that, which is great. But somebody can have a $50 lens or a kit lens that came with the camera and they busting your ass. Seriously. So it's really you. It's really your eye. It's really what you seeing. You know what I mean? And it's really what you choosing to hone in on, your subject matter. So let's keep it with this tour photography. So tour photography is based off relationships. That's how the music industry works. It's relationships, okay? That's how the entertainment industry works. It's relationships, okay? Every job that I've gotten was because somebody said they hired Shannon McCollum, they seen Shannon McCollum's work. I might have been shooting an event or shooting a show or shooting something, and you don't even realize that other people that are just attending the show or attending the event, they watching you. They watching how you work. Because guess what? Either they got an event or they know somebody that's got an event. That's usually how it works. And there's no greater way of being able to gain work by at the end of your shoot or during your shoot, somebody say to you, hey, we looking for a photographer. I peep how you work. I see you. Can I get your number? Now it ain't your card back in the day. So let me get your card, but now it's let me get your Instagram. Or let me, y'all trade Instagrams now and all that kind of stuff now. But that's it. People, you don't even realize, and I used to didn't know this at all, but until it would happen all the time. People watch how you work. They watch. Are you lazy and you over there eating all the people's shit in the green room and are you doing that? Or are you the person in the green room that's in the corner and you staying away from him and his boys, and you staying away from his family, and you capturing moments? Which are you? Are you capturing moments? Is the camera always ready? Or that motherfucker just on your shoulder? Yes.
Quick question. So, what you think is more important, connections or the portfolio?
Connections or the portfolio? Both. But which one is more important? It starts with your work. It starts with your work. You could be a super fly dude. You come in fly, you're an influencer, but your work is trash or it's subpar. But you the cool one, you the fly one, you one of the people that they don't mind having around because you cool, but Do I want to pay a dude that's just okay? Just because he cool? They really want to balance the two. You got to be able to produce, but you got to be able to be in your lane too and stay in your lane. That's the whole thing. If anybody's seen my clip that was running for this, it is also know when to shoot and know when to put that camera down. And that's the hardest thing. It's so hard. Because if you're like me and you analyzing the room constantly, you see shit. You see it. You paying attention. You see it. I'm to the point now where, let me tell you something. If I go to the store, I could be at the grocery store, and I see somebody and I see what they got on, or I may see how they just talking with their hands, or I may see a profile and they just standing like this, and it's like, I see how I shoot you. Anybody ever do that? I see how I'll shoot you. I see what looks good on you. I see how you move. That color's dope on you. It matches your skin tones. You ain't even got your camera, but in your head, you're working. You're working. That's the mark of a great ass photographer. You're working already. You're sharp. Iron sharpens iron. Okay, so you're constantly thinking. You're constantly seeing photographs. You're seeing pictures in your head. That's the way you got to be as a photographer. Those are good photographers. You got to constantly see shit before it happens. You got to see how artist is getting. You know what? I know how he move. I don't watch them. He getting ready to go over there and dap his boy. Catch that. Look at his mama. His mama keep laughing. Catch her laugh. That's it. That's that man mama. Who don't want great pictures of their mama smiling, laughing? Before I got into tour photography, I used to shoot a lot of weddings. Guess what the thing is about weddings? It ain't to me, this to me. It ain't always about the bride and the groom. You're gonna get a fucking 1,000 pictures of them. You think their grandma gonna be around forever? You think their granddaddy gonna be around forever? Catch that man over there with his leg crossed, and he just watching his grandson, he's so proud. Because what happens is, when they go through them pictures you get him, that's my granddaddy. That's how he be sitting in his chair. That means shit to people. You know what I mean? Go into that place, go into that space. I can't tell you how many times I photograph people and I focus on, I say, man, come over here with your grandma. Come on. I know. You got to, the bride got to walk around and get all the hugs and come. This your great aunt. She flew in. She drove 10 hours. Let me get you with her. She ain't going to be around forever. That shit is important to people, and it carries over into tour photography. All the artists I've gotten the opportunity to work with, I get them with people that I feel like that at shows that can't. People come drive in from far away. People come fly in. If you are get the opportunity, let me tell you something. I done toured with Outkast. I done toured with Goody Mob. I done toured with John Legend. I done toured with Lil Jon. I done toured with Mike Epps, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, George Lopez. And the thing that is a common denominator in being with these people is people, they give their people tickets, okay? And this is just a little nugget I'm gonna give you. They give their people tickets. They don't necessarily get to see them before the show, because a lot of artists, they don't like to be, they're in a space before a show, okay? They're in a space, all right? But after the show went well, guess what? Everybody in that green room. Everybody in that green room. And the green room is a vibe because they feel good. The show went great. They boys back there. They drinking, they smoking, they aunties, they mamas, they friends. People come together. Those are important moments also for the artists. That's something they're not gonna tell you. You got to know that. You got to know that. If you get the opportunity to go on tour with somebody, city to city to city to city to city to city, you're gonna be on that road night after night after night after night. Every night it's a different group of people, and it's the same thing. It's a vibe, it's a party, it's a fun time. It's after the show. Where we going after the show? We going to the after hour spot, we going to the strip club, we going wherever they wanna go. I'm taking my family and my boys and my crew out to dinner. We're doing all those things. That, to me, that is your moment to shine. Because you're going to get the stuff on the stage. That's to me, that's the easy part. To me, that getting the shots on stage, getting the shots. I like to personally. I start early. I really want to get to a point where I'm comfortable enough that, and maybe you only need 5 or 10 minutes, but let me see what you're gonna put on before you put it on. Let me come in your room. Let me get you brushing your hair. Let me get you, let me get you prepping. I want those shots. But guess what's gonna happen to get those shots? You gotta make that artist feel comfortable. They ain't gonna just let you in. That door is guarded. Even before the show starts in the green room, you're not their friend. You're not their friend. So don't go in there drinking a tequila. Don't go in there trying to get in rotation. Don't do it. Because I ain't gonna say you looking like a groupie, but you're looking a little thirsty. And I seen it happen. And here's the funny part. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you. Because you might be the dude or the woman that take great pictures. Unless somebody brings you over a shot, or unless somebody says, man, you come over here and drink with us. Come over here. If they don't say that, don't offer yourself to come over there and, can I get one? No. You are there to work. I'm going to keep it done. You are there to work. And the more you realize you're there to work, and the more it looks like you're there to work, the more you are respected. Yes.
I've been at a couple of events to where that they have offered, if you want to drink, this, that, or me personally, I'm not saying like it's unprofessional, but is it kind of rude to turn down the drink? Because I don't mix drinking and photography on the same page because I have to use my eyes. I want to be drinking it. But at the same time, it's like I've seen a couple of people feel uneasy because I'm just like, no, I'm good. I don't want to take the shot. Is it deemed disrespectful in the industry or?
This is what I would say, and that's a great question. Read the room. Sometimes it's a celebration. Sometimes it's they done peeped you out enough to know if you cool enough to take a shot with them. So if they offered, they peeped your vibe. You cool enough to come have a drink with us. You cool enough, it's an open bar. You're gonna go to a lot of things, the bar is open. If they say to you, listen, it's an open bar, we ain't tripping, if you wanna have a drink. I wouldn't be in that motherfucker drunk. I don't care if they say drink as much as you want. Don't be that person. Think of it as if you work for a Fortune 500 company and it's a Christmas party and the bar wide open, do you want to be drunk in front of your boss? You really don't even slick want to be drunk in front of your coworkers because they're going to talk about you. They are. Now, have a drink or two and then cool. But I say, always look professional. Because guess what? It's your business. This is your photography business. It's your business. And even though you may have a sip, you may not, they always gonna say, and maybe they don't always say, but it's okay for you if they tell you, a lot of times on tour, there is a caterer for the crew, Okay, and that means the cable men, the lighting men, the guys that bring all the stuff in, they have a whole separate room that's where they eat, right? So a lot of times that's where I used to eat. I used to eat with those guys. But then in the dressing room, it's the rider. Y'all know what a rider is? Okay, that's what the artist has said, listen, this is what I want. I want baked chicken, I want green beans, I want this. That's what he got. Now, typically, don't be over there in their shit. That's their food. Now, if they offer, cool. These are just etiquette 101s. You know what I mean? And if they offer, sure, have a plate, but don't go back 2 and 3 times. Now you look like the greedy ass photographer, and it just ain't a good look. You know what I mean? Everything, and I'll answer your question. Let me tell you about this tour photography thing. Everything, when it comes to your job, because you're easily replaceable. Let me tell you that. They'll easily come, they don't watch you all weekend. By Thursday, they be like, well, you know, and it gonna never always be the honest truth. Well, you know, we got all we need. You know, we got your plane ticket, it's tomorrow at 3. Okay? That will happen. And it's because you're doing too much out there. You're doing too much. A lot of artists, they got situations at home, if you know what I mean. They don't need you with your little sneaking photos and pulling out your phone, trying to get a little extra Don't do that. Because one thing about artists is they so used to people sneaking the phone out on them. They so used to it. They so used to people at the stores or wherever they go, somebody trying to get a quick little video. You know, it's almost like they got eyes on the side and the back because they so used to it. You have the opportunity when you ride, you with them. Don't be that person. It's okay to miss some shots. I done missed so many dope shots that I wanted, but I also know I'm trying to be in a space of, I want to keep working. I want you to know I know how to be respectful and I know how to sit down somewhere and get out your way. Also, know when not to flash. God damn, you don't always have to have the flash on. Learn your ISOs. Learn how to shoot without a damn flash. It'd be so disturbing to the artist sometimes. It's a time and a place to use your flash. It is. And a lot of times it's when, you know, you're getting a good group shot, you want good even skin tone. Some of us are real dark, you know, that's what it is. And the lighting kind of suck. That's what it is. Well, turn your shit up to 1600. Turn it up a little high, whatever. But don't just be, he over there getting ready to go out, and you just, don't do that. Let me tell you something. One time I was in Paris with John Legend, and it was Fashion Week. And his tour manager told me, he said, hey man, I can't tell you who coming tonight, but John got a special guest. Okay. He told me that before we left the hotel. We on the it's not a bus, it's a Sprinter. Okay? We on a Sprinter. I said, damn. So now, for some reason this night, and I never would, this is when there wasn't video and photo on the camera. It was just straight a camera. When you couldn't switch over and get the video. But for some reason this day, I have a damn VHS, not VHS, but one of them cassette tape video cameras. And you know what? I think I posted it on my Instagram. John, he's so excited. He would never be that way. And John said, man, he said, tonight's gonna be one of them nights. And I was like, oh shit, you know, okay. And so I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. Because now I'm excited. Well, Kanye walks in the room. And this is pre-crazy Kanye. You know, this is Kanye in his bag Kanye. Okay? So I'm sitting there, and let me say this on tour. You're gonna learn through your mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay. It is. But you gotta learn from them though. Don't make it a continuous mistake, okay? And this is back to me, I'm about to tell this story. So Kanye walks in and he's at his height, he's at his peak. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know. And so, so Kanye walks in and he's dapping up, you know, the team, all John's people and everything. And John goes out first. And this is when he first started dating Amber Rose, because Amber was with him. This is first started dating Amber Rose. So we're back down getting all these great shots of John and Kanye, and John hadn't even married Chrissy, his wife, Christy. So she's back there. I'll never forget how Amber is asking her, you know, how do you handle the paparazzi? And all this shit is new to her. So I'm catching all these moments, you know. I'm just catching these moments. Everybody walks out. It's just me and Kanye in the room. It's just me and Ye in the room. I said, what the fuck? It's just me and him. It's just me. He waiting on them to come get him to come out on stage and, you know, be the guest. So he sits on a couch, right? He might have sit on the end over here on this side. And so at first I was standing over there. So in my head, and so he's just got his head back and he's just kind of, I think he's just kind of having a little, you know, woosah moment, getting himself together. And I'm saying, first off, I say, dude, how many times you gonna be in a room with Kanye by yourself? You know, probably never, ever in life again. Ever. So are you gonna get a shot from across the room? Or are you gonna try to get a beautiful shot? And the couch is long. So I'm just like, ugh, they're getting ready to call him out. I need to get this shot, okay? We're in the green room. The tour manager has left. John is on stage. His people done already went out because, you know, usually before the artists go out, you want to see the intro. You know, whoever's back there, they want to get out front to see the artists come out, right? So it's just me and Kanye back there. Nobody else. And I got the camera. And he sit on one side of the couch. So I said, right? I sit on the opposite end, camera in lap. And so Ye is still sitting back, and you know he just waiting on them to come get him to bring him on stage. He just like this. He just like, you know, he just back there chilling, eyes closed, and I'm just like, bro, what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? I'm nervous as hell. I turned over and I said, God. And came back, and I kind of looked at it, and it wasn't good. It was dark as hell. I turned the flash on. I said, cocoon! He said, erase that one, bro. He even looked over at me, he said, erase that one, bro. So guess what? I erased it. But now, I said, okay, dial it up from 400 to about 8 to about 16 to about whatever. And I did it again. Gah! And I looked at it, and it was good. And he didn't say nothing. Within minutes, they came and got him, and he went on stage, and then I ran out and shot behind the speaker. But I'm saying all that to say is that before a lot of artists go out on stage, I peeped this with so many different artists. No matter how many years they've been touring, no matter how many years they've been doing this, no matter what, I've noticed from some that I done been with some legends, they get nervous. They get nervous. It's a quick little butterfly they get. They get ready to go out and people that done paid a lot of money to see them. Don't let it be an arena show or shit, it could be, a show at City Winery that this whole 200 people. But it's still a little inkling of something that comes over them. I see it on them all the time. So it's a beautiful moment if you can be in the room with them before they go out, because you get a very, 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 very personal shot, a very intimate shot or shots. But what it also means is if they have allowed you to be in that room with them before they go out on that stage, they rock with you. It's something there. You don't just get to be back there, because when all them people start walking out, that's usually when you got to get the hell out. You got to go too. But if they allow you to still be in that room, that means that you have gained access. And I don't mean just gain access, I mean you've gained trust with them. You've gained trust. Yes, sir.
So, a thing that I'm getting here, and you talked about this the last time too,
Uh-huh.
is like just really like making sure that you respect the space of your client, whether it be, I mean, we're talking about celebrities here, right? Has there ever been a time where you grew a relationship or something, a level of close with them beyond just like the respectful space that you give them? And how do you navigate that?
So look, that's a great question. Lil Jon, y'all know who Lil Jon is. So back in the early 2000s, he had a whole movement, with the crunk, this and that. I did a shoot for The Source, okay? And this is a time, and I'm telling you, this is a time when Atlanta photographers, or Atlanta creatives, we weren't getting out just, okay? We weren't getting out just. And they would literally, XXL, The Source, they would fly photographers in from New York. They fly photographers in from LA. And they weren't rocking with us. I think maybe they thought we were just some country, whatever, and y'all ain't really, because The Source, XXL, back then we had something called Vibe magazine. All of that was based out of New York. So Atlanta was making such a movement that they had to come see our Atlanta artists. They had to come down here. They had to come document and put us on the covers and put, stories. They had to come do that. Well, this time, John told them, no, you don't have to fly Jonathan Mannion or any of these other big photographers from New York. I want to work with this guy here. And how that happened is because we used to have a club in Atlanta called The Warehouse, okay? And The Warehouse was on Marietta Street. It's a parking garage, and it's right across from whatever that sports bar is over there by where the Hawks play. But anyway, Lil Jon used to DJ over there all the time. Also, I'm a little older than John, but we went to Doug together. If I was a junior or whatever, he was a freshman, okay? So we seen each other at school, but we didn't know each other like that. And I didn't have no camera in high school, and he wasn't DJing in high school. But when he started seeing me shooting these parties, remember I went back to talking about shooting parties, building relationships with DJs, building relationship with promoters, building relationships with security. These are people that are around artists. They're assistants, DJs, assistants, security, promoters, because most of the time, you're not gonna get to the artist, okay? You're just not. And if you do get to the artist, it's usually a milli. You got to give them your spiel so quick. Hey, I shoot, man, and I'm dope too. And you over here trying to give him your whole spiel while he walking. You know how many times he done heard that shit? You know how many times somebody done told him they want to be his photographer? You know how many times an artist done heard, how dope you are? Look at my Instagram. Check. I shot this of you last year. You remember you was here? Or I took a picture with you. They get that all the time. I see it every city I've been in with an artist. There are so many people that approach them that say that similar thing. So really, unless somebody has told them about you, you're just another person. You're just another cog in the wheel. You're just another person. So the key is, don't try to always get to the artist. You ever heard that saying, the man next to the man next to the man? You want that. Find out who their assistant is, because their assistant is with them all the damn time. Okay? Go find out who they are. Find out who their security. Find out who their manager, their tour manager, okay? And that way, build a relationship with them. Because they're the ones that's going, honestly, they're the ones that's going to vouch for you. They're the ones. Because guess what? The artists trust the people they with all the time. They with them at the studio, they with them on the planes, and they with them at the airport, the assistant, the security. They know how their temperament is. For some reason, I wanted to go on tour with T.I., okay? I wanted to, back in the day when T.I. was hot. And I've been so good at being able to jump in different camps, okay? I done been in Ludacris camp. I done been in Pastor Troy. I done been in Organized Noise. How I got the Outkast was through Rico Wade, one of the producers, okay? I done been through Killer Mike, all of them. But it's because I built relationships with the other guys. It's always the other guys. The other guys gonna get you in the room. They go, yeah, that nigga dope, man. Yeah, I seen him. I seen how he cool. Yeah. Listen, that's how you gonna do it, okay? And when you do that, and when they decide to bring you on the road with them, and I'm skipping around, I don't know if I answered your question, but it's all based on relationships. And with that, when you do get in that space of you being with them, here's the thing what you gotta do now. If lobby call is at 6, be in that lobby at 5:30. Be in that lobby at 5:35. Just do it. Don't be trying to be down there at 10 to 6. Because even if the bus don't leave to 6 to go to the venue and you are there at 10 to 6 and the artist is already on the bus. Even if the bus ain't finna leave yet, but the artist done beat you on the bus. Or the artist done beat you at the gate or wherever, it don't look good. And guess what? Let me keep it a buck with you. You're the least important person on tour. I don't care how dope of a shooter you are. You are the least they boys more important than you, and they boys ain't doing nothing but shit but hanging out with them. They ain't offering no services. They got a free plane ticket. They helped them, they saw a girl on the 3rd row. After the show, they going to get that girl for him. That's what they boys do. You're not even more important than one of his boys out the crew. You're not. You're a photographer that can be replaced. You're easily replaced. Hey man, we're gonna go and fly you back home. You're not that important. So, something my grandmother always taught me, early is on time is late. That should be something that stick with you. Early is on time is late. Just be early. And you know what else it does? It makes you look good. The artist ain't gonna say shit. They ain't gonna say, oh, okay. But in the back of their head or the back of her head, they realizing that you're reliable. They're realizing that you always in that lobby waiting, and then when they come up that elevator, then let's go. And then guess what? You can catch shots of them through the lobby. You can catch shots of them. Somebody in the lobby want to stop and get a selfie with them. You getting those kind of shots. You're back to being a documentarian. You're back to capturing moments. That's what you're there for. A lot of shots, they're not going to even ask you. They're going to watch how you work. And if you don't know how to get those type of shots, they peep that. It's like I've watched artists go through so many security guards, because security guards can think just because they big and tall and ugly and all that old shit, that's enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And the artists, a lot of times, they ain't even gonna say nothing to the security, but they're gonna peep how he moved or how she moved. They're gonna peep it. They're gonna peep it. You let 50 motherfuckers come up to me, and I'm trying to just get to my dressing room. You let all these people stop me. They might not even tell you that as a security guard, but it's in their head. I don't want you no more. You see I was tired, and with artists, in front of people that pay tickets they good money, these tickets ain't cheap no more. People that pay that kind of money to come see them, people, you know what else people pay for? People that love the artists they go see, they pay for that after, show up and get that picture with the artist. Chris Brown getting what, $1,000 a head? Come on, man. You have to be able to know that really, although the money's great, they sweated through a whole shirt, they sweated through a whole fit. They really, really honestly don't feel like peopling, but they got to. So guess what? You need to be along for the ride. And this is what I do when I'm out with artists, okay? And really, the only person I tour with now is George Lopez. That's the only person I work with now because I'm old as hell and I don't be trying to be out with no rappers like I used to. I don't do that. But I've mastered what he likes, okay? I'm not his assistant. I'm not his security. If you're gonna go on tour with an artist, be open-minded enough to find out what they like, how they move. Guess what? George likes his Fiji water and he likes a Diet Coke. He also got his favorite brand of incense. Guess what I do? I go in there and fucking burn an incense. I don't even wait for him. I go light one of his incense. Before he sit down, I have his water ready. I don't already grab his Diet Coke. I take the shoe horns out his shoes when he get off stage, and all he want to do is take his shoes off, and he just put them over there. He just want to have a woosah moment. My camera's down. Now I'm a whole ass assistant. I grab his shoes. I put the shoe horns in his shoes. I zip them up and put them in his bag. I place them in his suitcase. You think he asked me to do that? He don't ask me to do that shit. But I'm attentive. I done been on the road with him long enough that I know, guess what? I appreciate that about Shannon. Shannon understands this. He never asked me that. And if for some reason I don't do it, he ain't never said, damn, you ain't do it this time. But he appreciates every time I do it. I know he does. I see it on him. You are making yourself so much more valuable. You think they can go down in the lobby and go get Starbucks? You think they can do that? Do you know when they're in the airport, their assistant got a million things going on when they deal with the artist. First off, the assistant got to deal with they short-tempered ass, okay? They got to eat that. Assistants got to eat that. After a show, I done been in the Sprinter, or I done been in the black car with the artist and the assistant got to catch hell. I be in that backseat like, ooh, that's your job. Because the artist's gonna be on some highs and you're gonna have some great times. You're gonna meet a lot of people on the road. You're gonna be you are privileged to a lot of fun ass shit. You are. You're gonna get to go a lot of places that you probably ain't gonna never go to in your life. You're gonna go to a lot of different countries. You're gonna go to a lot of states that you would have never been on. You're gonna get the opportunity to get on a private jet. I ain't never had to get on a opportunity to get on a private jet until I started working with George Lopez. And we zigzagging across the country on jets. And guess what we doing on the jet? He got his boom box on there. Now we're having drinks because he's offered me a drink on the jet. He offered me. I ain't going there and pour my own shit. He offered, because we're on the jet now. We chilling. Those are the perks of being a tour photographer. Those are the perks. You get to do some cool ass shit. But you also gonna be a part of when that artist is pissed as fuck. And you're gonna have to be around them when they pissed as fuck. And them ain't no pretty moments. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Those are not good moments, but they're real. So if the assistant is the main one that's got to deal with that, the assistant, the tour manager, the security, Usually as the photographer, you're not gonna catch that stray. Most times you're not. Those people that they paying a lot of money to are paying really that's on their payroll, that they expect things out of, for real, that's who catching them that heat. You are not gonna really catch a lot of strays, not for real. You may catch a few, but you ain't gonna catch no real strays. So guess what you need to do? Put your camera down and go into assistant mode. Think about how can I be helpful? How can I be useful? Now don't overly worry that motherfucker, you know? Don't be that person, because a lot of times they get on that plane, they want to sleep. They want to, they got two phones. Their phones are going, they texting, all that's happening. But again, like I told you, read the room, read the energy. And all this comes with time. You may not get it the first leg of a tour you go on, or the first few shows you do with an artist, but as time goes on, you will understand what that artist likes and dislikes. You'll understand that they like their Fiji water, they like their canned root beer, they like, this, whatever it is they like. Assert yourself. You ain't too cool. Don't be too big. I assert myself. I make myself be okay. I ain't got to be this guy that's just the cameraman. I'm attentive to what they may need. That's a part of being on the road, man. It's a family out there. Yes.
All right, so let's say, you're on tour, you're back-to-back shows.
Yep.
Great, everything's going good. They're like, Shannon, Monday show was great. I need the shots for Monday, but now we're on Wednesday. What is your workflow like for delivering,
Great question. So I'm gonna give you a two-parter to that. Because I come from an era before there was social media, okay? And I come from an era where I come from film, so you couldn't really, and they knew that. But now in this era, everything is, your client wants them pictures. They want the footage, okay? So again, the show is over, but your show ain't over. Now you go into post-production mode, okay? All right, so this is how you keep a job. This is how you keep a job. And this is how you keep getting referred. And I also watch this. My son is an artist, and I watched it with his cameraman. You are now in front of that laptop, okay? And if they got an after show to go to, or they going to hang with their friends, or they going bowling or whatever, you need to go back to the room. You need to go back to the room. Don't be trying to go kick it and be a little, Go to the room and work. Go work. I'm sorry, I know you're tired. I know. But you gotta go back to that room and get it popping. Because now, guess what? This ain't film. This is digital. You done shot fucking 500 pictures. And you got to go through them. And you got to go create a folder and pick them best ones. You got to go pick the best ones. And you got to clean them up. And you got to blah, 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 blah. And don't nothing make you look better than either having your shots ready when they ask for them or beforehand. You hear me? Nothing looks better than when you told that tour manager if it was a Monday night show and now when you on the plane, you can't sleep on the plane, you got to work. You got to edit. Have them pictures ready on the time you told them folks, or them folks asked you, or before. That's just the game. Because if you mess around and don't have them ready, and you making them miss their deadline, or you're not able to create a reel for them so they can be able to post it and say thank you for, so the artist can put it in their story and say, Boston, thank you for coming out last night, and it's showing what they did at the show, and now they on to LA, and now you 2 shows behind.
I'm getting my plane ticket back home.
You getting your plane ticket back home. I'm glad you know. Yes, in the back.
To piggyback on that, as a person who does shoot film and digital, when it comes to the turnaround time on film, how do you express to a client that, like, I'm not gonna have it back to you by tomorrow? Because I think sometimes when I explain the develop and scan process, a lot of people don't quite understand what I'm talking about because they
Okay.
don't do film.
Because you know what? Now, you're in a different world. So film, for you guys, film is fun. Film is analog. It's like for a recording artist, you know, they can send their files real fast through email or whatever, versus a whole analog studio where there are reels and tapes and that kind of shit, right? So with shooting film and digital, you're shooting both ways, you're saying, right? You need to tell your client, I'm gonna produce what you want, but I wanna give you film. I wanna give you a look, okay? So you have to allow me to get to the lab, to get this film scanned over to a disk so I can upload them. I can't have it to you right now. Now, I can give you what I shot on my digital camera. I can give you that, but also know that I have more. I shot film as well. My second camera that I got, that's film. Allow me, because I am shooting film as well. I got the digital. I can shoot you some of that now. That buys you time. Now, if you're just strictly shooting film, before you take that job, you need to let them know, like.
I try to usually give people an accurate turnaround time when it comes to film because it does take time, especially here in Atlanta, for the development process, because every place does a different turnaround time, depending on how busy or how much work they have. So it's kind of, like I said, it's just, I think sometimes difficult because a lot of people do not understand the process of film. They like the idea and like the love behind it, but they don't know how much more work goes into shooting film and the process behind it.
And so when I used to shoot back in the day, not only did we have to do that, we had to create contact sheets. And you know what a contact sheet is? We give the client the contact sheet and then they have to circle the images that they wanted. Then you got to go back to the lab again, you know. But if you're doing both, okay, if you shoot digital and film, you know, just prep your client. You know, just give them usually if it ain't super detrimental, hey, I am gonna send you some stuff now, because I did shoot digital, but I really personally, I like the way this film is gonna look. So give me, you know, sometimes it takes 2 days, sometimes it takes 3 days, you know, but allow me that time so you can have both, okay? So that's what you gotta prep them if you're gonna shoot both. And I know a lot of you guys are shooting film now, which is super dope. But if you're dealing with a client that's used to getting their stuff back super quick, you need to let them know, on this film side, I gotta take it to the lab, you know, and they gotta scan it, and they gotta, you know, and I don't know their workload, you know, like you said, you know, and what happens is you need that 24 to 48, sometimes 72-hour turnaround time. So that's what I would say, just prep your client. Yeah, yes.
How long was the longest tour that you've been on? And like, what do you do to keep your energy up when, you know, tours are going? Because like you said, you know, you can't sleep, you can't really get down, you gotta constantly be working. So how do you just keep up?
Let me tell you something. That's a great question. Okay, two different. I'm gonna give you two different answers for me, what I've dealt with. One was I went out on the anger management tour, and this is when y'all were super little kids probably. This was 50 Cent at 50 Cent height, okay? In the club, 50 Cent. This is Eminem at the height of Eminem, and this is Lil Jon. So Lil Jon opened, 50 went on, and then Eminem went on. And we did a whole summer of arenas. And we're talking M being Eminem. So that went June to August, okay? Every night. And the nights that we didn't, it was travel days in between that. But for me, the longest without coming home was a whole summer, okay? Over the last 10 years of my life, I still work a full-time job. I go to work Monday through Friday. Okay, when I get off work on Friday, I work for Delta. When I get off work on Fridays, I got my bag in the car. I change in the car. In the car, my suitcase is already packed, and I shoot over to the airport. I run over there to the airport, get to the airport. I got a show that Friday night. We got a show that Saturday. And then early Sunday morning, I'm on a 6 a.m. back home, and then Monday morning, I'm back at work. I've been doing this for about 13, 14 years, around the clock. 5 days at Delta, Friday night, Saturday night, home on Sunday. Just a circle. So what happens is, if we on the West Coast, man, listen, I already get up at 5 in the morning for my job, okay? That's super important to me, all right? Now, if I'm in LA, San Fran, San Jose, and I'm with George, already, I know George. George has a problem with sleeping at night. So he can't sleep. So guess what he want to do after the show? He want to stay up all fucking night. So even if the show is over at 11, we in the dressing room, we literally in the dressing room till the people in the arena tell us we got to go. Like they can be as patient as they want to. Some people after the show, they get the hell on. Some people like to sit back in the dressing room all night, and George is one of those people. He want to play his music. He want his friends in there, and it's done got to a point now where I get so many of the same damn shots. I've become a friend. So my camera's not even up. All he wants to do is you to be back there with him. He just wants you to kick it with him. So now it's 2 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock, but on my body clock, it's 5 a.m., it's 6 a.m., it's 7 a.m. So I done been up 24 hours. And guess what? After that show on Friday night in LA, we getting ready to drive 6 hours, 8 hours to the next city, or we getting ready to get on a PJ, or we getting ready to get up early for the airport. And again, you better be the first one in that damn lobby. I don't care how tired you are. You better be the first one in that lobby. And that in that East Coast and West Coast time, even though it's just 3 hours or 4 hours, that shit will wear on your body. Anybody that's done it before, y'all know that those different time changes, it hit, okay? So that's what you have to do. You know, you have to bite the bullet. It's if you get out there on the road, it ain't always glamorous, but it's something you've chose to do, you know, and you gotta do it, you know. I've been in the dressing room with George before, and I'm back there yawning and shit, and you know, he done got mad with me. All right, go to your room, man, just go. Not necessarily that I want to, but motherfucker, I'm tired. You don't know that I've been up since 5 and I just worked 8 hours on my day job and changed in a car. Literally, I drive a 2-seater. I changed in my little ass car, and then I ran over to the airport so I wouldn't miss my flight. And then I get there, and a lot of times, that by the time I get there from getting off work, I don't get to go to my room and take a lay down. A lot of times, me and my luggage got to go straight to the venue. Sometimes you got to go straight to the venue with your damn bags. It's just what it is, man. It ain't lovely, but it's a part of the game. And now you got to show up for job number 2, and well, maybe not you, but now you got to be on. Because this their first time seeing you. This their first time working. They done laid down all day. They got in this morning. They done napped, they done had lunch, they done went shopping, they done did the things already. Your ass just getting there. In my case, over my last 10, 12, 13, 14 years I've been with him, okay? So now I got to be on. I got to be alert. I got to be, because that's what he's expecting of me. That's what he's looking for me to be. He ain't looking for me to be tired as fuck. Stay home then. I get somebody else to do this. Let me tell you something. I done been on tour with George so long. So many people ask me, man, how you get this job, man? They would ask George, like, Mexican, black dude, how y'all get together, you know? And you know, it would always be a thing where either I would say, man, you know what, man? A lot of things are right time, right place. You know what I mean? And one of my favorite people in this industry is a younger guy named Ari. Ari goes by AMD. Y'all heard of Ari? Ari, man, I talked to Ari today, man. Let me tell you something. This is what I want us black men to do, and black women, but especially black men. This is what I want us to do. If y'all do this for me. Be okay with bigging up other artists. Be okay with bigging up other artists. You dope, they dope. Don't. I used to be in the room, man, and other photographers didn't even want to speak to me. They didn't even want to speak to me. They would consciously not even look at me. Man, we both working. Somebody paying both of us. Don't act like you don't see me, bruh. Be okay with bigging up somebody else. I called Ari today. I said, look, man. I said, bro, I'm so proud of you, bro. I'm so proud of you, bro. Let me tell you something. Ari came from Miami. And this is when you believe in your art. This is when you believe in yourself wholeheartedly. Ari came from Miami. And he had been doing videography in Miami, and I'm telling his story, and he's not here. I asked him to be here, but he had to prep for a shoot. But Ari moved to Atlanta because guess what? If you're a photographer, you're a videographer, this ain't a bad place to be. Miami is a popping city, of course, but Atlanta is a hub, okay? Atlanta is a hub for artists, for the music industry, okay? Ari moved down here with nothing. Now, I don't even know if I would have did this, honestly. Ari moved down here with almost nothing, okay? He found out about Kirk Studios, okay? He found out about Kirk Studios. This is something during my time coming up. We ain't had this shit right here where I could sit around and talk to an older photographer. You would be lucky if you caught one on the street and they would give you a little game. But again, like I said, if they saw you, they be acting like you finna steal some work from them. You gonna steal a job from them. So they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to know who hired you. They don't want to know your name. They don't want to know what lens you shoot with, or they don't want to know none of that. They ain't even gonna look at you. It's some cocky shit. But look at us in this dope ass studio. From a dude that's y'all age, Kirk. I'm so proud of Cam. But Ari moved down here from Miami, didn't know anybody, came over here to Kirk Studio when he was over down there by Magic City, okay? Started interning. Again, be okay with shooting some free shit, because what did I say free shit do? Free pictures do? What does it do? It builds your portfolio. It builds your stock photos. It builds your catalog. Be okay with shooting some free shit. It's gonna come, I promise you it's gonna come back to you. And guess what? It's gonna come back tenfold. But Ari was over here interning. My son had another photographer. The dude liked Ari and said, hey man, I got to shoot with this particular artist. Why don't you come shoot some behind the scenes stuff for me? Shoot some BTS, okay? Again, it's okay if you go shoot some BTS for her. She ain't all necessarily got to pay you. Just do it because you make her look good. And guess what? She may come shoot some BTS for you, okay? That's what you do. Just do it. Shoot the BTS. My son got to see the opportunity to way this guy works and saw his character and saw how he moved and saw him first. You know what I mean? When you get hired, people see you. Yeah, you got this camera, but they see you. They see you first. They see how you move around other people. They see how you know how to interact with people. Because before they take you on the road, listen, be out there on some dumb shit if you want to. What I say gonna happen? You gonna get that plane ticket back home. You gonna get that plane ticket back home. Be okay with shooting some free shit and also letting your character speak for itself. Let them see that. Let them see that. Because a lot of y'all in here, I ain't seen your work, but I know a lot of y'all dope. But guess what? There's somebody doper than you. There's probably 20 of y'all doper than me. Way doper. But some of y'all ain't gonna outshine my character. Some of y'all ain't gonna outshine how I know how to move in a room. I ain't scared to go up to somebody and say, hey, you know what? Let me get a shot of y'all. Y'all look good together. Man, what, them Timbs, bro, I see you. Man, listen, man, that Nike shit you like, let me. I know how to do that. I know how to do that. Candids are the dopest shit ever. It's great to get candids. It's great to get candids. You want to catch people when they're not looking. You want to catch people when they, you want to catch all that. But know how to also be the person to put people together. I became, what people didn't even know, I became a Delta airline photographer. People didn't even know there was a photography department at Delta. People didn't even know that. Guess how I got that gig? I shot this lady's wedding. The lady loved my pictures. She happened to work for a company that had the contract to Delta that did all the graphics on the side of their buses. You know, there are buses that take the employees, you know, back and forth to the parking lot. You ever been on the plane, look out the window, and on those things that when your bags are going down the runway and they putting them on that little side cart, and the Delta Airlines, all that stuff on the side of the cart and all that. The company did all of that. They did. You probably don't remember this, but that was a time back in Atlanta where rappers were rapping Vans and shit with their album covers. And y'all remember that era when people was doing that? Okay, so this company did all that, okay? So she said to me, she said, hey, my boss, we just got a Delta airline contract. My boss is looking for a photographer. And I told him about you. This lady ain't never seen my work. She seen what I did for her daughter's wedding. That was a damn wedding. But guess what? How I moved in that room, how I turned that shit on, how something I learned from my grandma, how to act in front of white folks, keep it in a buck. Those are things you're gonna know how to do to the folks that cut them checks. This ain't the only folks that cut the checks. They cut the big checks, okay? How I knew how to move in them rooms. After she saw her wedding pictures, her daughter's wedding pictures, she said, hey, now all I got in my portfolio, this is my portfolio at the time, all I got is fucking rappers or events. I ain't got no Delta Airline-ish type stuff. But it didn't matter. When she told that man about me and I got a meeting with them, and she told him about me on a Monday or Tuesday, I went over there on a Thursday or Friday and met with them. He sat down and he looked at my pictures and he didn't know who these people were. But he looking at the pictures. And he was an old white man, so you know he didn't care about really, you know, the stuff I was shooting. But he said, she spoke highly of you. She brought her daughter's wedding book to work. I saw her daughter's wedding pictures, Mr. McCollum. Well, I'm looking for a photographer. And, you know, it's a contract position at Delta Airlines. These are dealing with the executives. You'll be dealing with the president. You'll be dealing with the CEO. And we need somebody we can trust. Because guess what? Now, the person he wants to put in place is representing him and his company. He not at Delta taking pictures. He got to hire somebody to be there to take pictures. But I'm nobody. I'm representing his company, but I'm a contract photographer for Delta under his LLC, under him, okay? I'm under him. That man hired me on a Friday. He said, do you have a passport? I didn't at the time. I said, yes, sir. I got a passport. Hired me on the spot. That Monday, I called and found out what I need to do to get a rush passport, so I could just have it, got a rush passport. In 2 weeks, I was going to Africa. 2 weeks later, they were sending me to Accra because Delta has a program with Habitat for Humanity where Delta employees volunteer to build houses. And I went over there for 2 weeks to shoot. You know how dope an experience that was for me? And then I left there and they sent me to India, they sent me to Thailand, they sent me to Chile. I got to go to all these places. Now, guess what? This is all starting from the root of me shooting a white lady daughter wedding. All I'm saying is you don't know where your shit can go. All I'm saying with Ari is when Ari showed up here at Cam Kirk Studios and he shot that BTS for that photographer that was shooting my son said, can you do this? Can you do that? He said, yep. Guess what? He was with him every day. Something that turned into something for free. For the free ski. It turned into an everyday gig. And guess what he got to do? He got to go over to his house every day and shoot him. He got to come to Christmas with my family and shoot. Go on the road and shoot. Go in different countries and shoot. They have created some of the most incredible videos together. Guess what also came out of that? Ari became a director for Lyrical Lemonade. He didn't get that because he left Miami and somebody said, oh, you want to be a director? No. He got that because of his work ethic with my son, his work ethic. He ain't gonna try to party with my son. He ain't gonna try to do, hang with him and his boys. Ari got his ass on that bus. Ari got his ass back to that hotel and got to it. I used to be so amazed because Ari would have a whole fucking clip up the next day. Ari would have that shit up the next day. How are you cutting up a whole video and having that shit up the next day? Not 2 days, not 3, not 4, not 5, the next day. You know how many hours he had to stay up? And guess what that also means? That means you love your shit. You take your craft serious. You love it, bruh. You ain't just out here shooting, sitting on your work. You love it. And you got it up the next day. Let me keep it a buck with you. That ain't even 24 hours. If you get in from a show 11, 12, and you got it up by 10, 11, 12 the next day, that's 12 hours. That ain't 24 hours. That shows your growth. That shows your love for this shit. It does. It just shows your work ethic. I really want you to come up and talk about Ari. I don't know if you want to. But for real. They didn't even know you was back.
I just, because he's reading something I draw Ari. First off, how y'all doing? I just want to say that, kind of matching.
Yeah, we are.
The day when, the day when I came here, I'll explain the story, Brad. He's living things out. My photographer at the time, he only did photography. He wasn't really that good at videography. And what happened was, Ari was shooting behind the scenes, and it's so funny. Ari had about 800 followers, right? So he didn't have a following, no support system. And I remember, I was just like, who is this guy? And I remember I went on Instagram, and what he had there was a video of a bumblebee. He was recording a bumblebee in a garden, and it sat on a flower. That's it. No rap, it was a bumblebee, and it was buzzing, and it sat on the flower. I was like, that's cool, But also, I've had so many photographers around that's ideally minuscule. That's step one, right? The thing about Ari that was the craziest thing, like my father said, was that his turnaround time is absolutely insane. It's actually not 12 hours, it's like 5. Wow. Like if we shoot, I have that clip by 2 a.m. We choose to post it at 10 the next day, It's not even just shows. He does music videos in 6 hours. He just, the way he separated himself was his return, you have that video back so fast. And I've worked with literally countless videographers and photographers who do not do that, you know? But I also tell you another story, like a photographer I keep around me now, he is almost horrible at photography, you know? Like, he is really not that good. He is so slow on return times. But like my father said, he makes himself valuable, you know? I have 2 assistants, but he still will carry my bag without me asking. He, you know, just the other day, he unpacked my suitcase. I would never ask him for that. But he does it. He makes himself an asset, you know? And as a artist, it's very important to, like my father said, you know, he was kind of harsh saying that you don't matter. But I mean, but it's kind of true, you know, like you are last on the list. So it's important to bring some sort of value to yourself, you know? Like a lot of times creatives ask me, rappers, anything, and you always ask, usually they ask, how do I make it? If I wanted to get on, what's some advice you could give me? And the most important thing that I can say, photographer, videographer, whatever you do, is to, like, what makes you different, right? It's about 50 people in here who have a camera. What makes you different, you know? And that, the answer to that question is limitless. And it could go on to be, it could be your work, it could be you, it could be, it could be so anything, you know, that answer is not limited to anything, but the true importance is what makes you different, you know, what makes you, why do you deserve the job, you know, and that's just, that's honest, you know. I think whenever I'm hiring someone, it's extremely important that I'm comfortable around them, because I'm cussing, I'm hanging out with women, I'm talking shit about people. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real with y'all, you know, but this is what we all doing. And it's because I'm with my family and with my boys, so I want to be comfortable with this new videographer, photographer I'm bringing around, ain't gonna record me and post it on the internet, ain't gonna go on TikTok and make stories about me. You know what I'm saying? You want to feel extremely comfortable, A, because you have all the proof. You know what I'm saying? We get too drunk or somebody on drugs, y'all got that, you know? So I want to be able to trust that this person has good intentions, that this person is not in it to manipulate or to, you know, benefit themselves out of it, right? I think it is important in life to evolve, right? Like speaking of Ari working for Cole now, I could have easily been like, nah, that's my videographer. You know, nah, that's my guy. You know, like, why are you, no, you can't take him. But that would have been selfish of me as a creative myself. But, you know, that opportunity, which, you know, like, he's doing all these, he's about to do $1 million commercial, you know? And he came from, I'm telling you, he had 700 followers. You know what I'm saying? And that just came from his work ethic. That came from, you gotta understand, man, at this time, it's unfortunate, but in 2016, man, and this is my opinion, but I think creativity is at an all-time low. You know, I think that when it comes to the board and the scale of the creativity, the content that is being produced in 2026, it is at a very low. The bar is on the ground, right? It is like insanely low. So, with that being said, you got to, like, it's open. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit crazy how open the lane is, because no one is doing anything. Everyone's afraid to post their content. Everyone is copying other content, so all content are coming out the same. Because everyone's like, oh shit, that worked for you. Let me just do what's working for you. You know, which that's not how you evolve, and it's not how you grow a name, and that's not how you get respected. You know, you have to throw that paint at the wall. Something me and Ari, like, we throw paint at the wall, and a lot of it falls to the ground. A lot of it, most of it falls to the ground. But when it sticks, and it shit's there forever, you know. And who's to say what would work? Who's to say what's right? I think it's extremely important to believe in yourself, because no one else will until they see it, and people don't see it until it's already happening, always. You know, only person that may believe in you before is your mother or your father, you know, your girlfriend at the time, you know, but people don't see that vision that you see in yourself until you make it happen. So it's extremely important to believe in yourself and show that, right? Like again, what my father said about Ari is him sending me that work back that quick, you know, and going up with it. It shows me A, he love it, but B, he know it's good. You know what I'm saying? And not like, oh man, I thought this was kind of cool, and like I posted and like you might delete later or whatever. Like no, he know, like nah, this shit is cold. This shit good. And it's not cocky, but he's confident and he trusts his vision. He trusts my vision, I trust his vision, and he understands, oh, nah, this shit right here, this shit cold. A, because ain't nobody else doing shit, right? So it's like, why the fuck not? I'm cussing a lot, I'm sorry y'all, I don't do this. But yeah, man, he is just one of those, man, he is, and the crazy thing is that you assume there's a lot of people like that, but actually it's very few in between. You know, it's very few in between who separate themselves by taking that extra mile. And to piggyback, I'm just like gonna piggyback on everything you said because it's all true. You do realize if your videographer is there in the lobby. You do realize if they showed up after you. You all those things you pay attention to. You know, A, because I'm paying you. I'm paying you out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you gotta understand, it's always somebody that'll do it for free. You see what I'm saying? So whether I'm paying you and you got the opportunity to learn and you're doing it for free, I could get this position to anybody. So I'm paying attention to whatever it is that you got going on. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. You wanna be accessible, but you also wanna be a fly on the wall. Because so many times I've just had someone constantly talking, and it's like kind of annoying, you know. And I also would say, like, try a new approach when you, and obviously this is more difficult to say than do, but the whole it's so funny that the things you said about the like, oh man, I shot you in June, and oh man, I remember this picture I took that, I hate that. I really do, because I don't care. I don't care, because I got 9,000 pictures of me. That's just me being honest, I don't care. And I'm walking and I'm tripping and you tripping and you trying to, I don't care. You know, I think it's important to try and get someone's attention organically, right? Like my videographer, his name is Kiriaki, whatever. Before Ari, the way I met this guy, he snuck into my concert. He snuck into my concert, he snuck backstage, he shot a video and just posted it and tagged me. I said, who the fuck is this guy in my dressing room? Like, he was in there, he had a whole video, it was fire! He didn't say hi to me, he didn't say bye to me, he didn't say, man, I ain't supposed to be here. He snuck backstage, he shot this crazy ass video, he posted it, he tagged me, he left. And I reached out to him, I was like, what the fuck did we get to, who is this? That's in the dressing room, you know, but that was his creative approach on getting my attention. Now again, everyone's story is different, but I think separating yourself causes for intention, right? You separate yourself from intention because nowadays a lot of people just do to do. You know, a lot of people just do things just to do it. Intention in art is extremely important. You know, to having that care to whatever it is, you know, just to, again, I'm gonna keep saying it, but to separate yourself. Because you go to a party, there's 100 photographers. You go to a concert, it's 100 photographers. You know, if you go, so why your camera over this camera? It's the same camera. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get a little bit more expensive, so what, right? So it is separating yourself and making yourself valuable, because value, what a lot of people think, is it's not social following. It helps, but it's not social following. I don't care how many followers you have. It's not who you know is good, but it's more so your character. You know, it's how you carry yourself, is how you are in the room, you know, or how you are when you're away from me. Because when you become attached to an artist, you're still a branch of them, right? So how you are when you out with another artist, or if you make content, right? Like one of the videographers I use now, he has a TikTok. His name's Jossie, and man, he just like he take his time. He make these videos explaining different things, and I'm like, man, I'm the type of guy. If I ever see someone put in the effort, like I see you putting in the effort on your own to be great, I have 50 times more respect for you, because a lot of people wait for somebody to hand out. You know, a lot of people wait for an opportunity to be placed in their hand. You know, the people who go and get it, you know, they always, in my opinion, you get first deals because you didn't wait on it to knock on your door. You know, you went to it.
And you were intentional.
Right. Extremely intentional. Because again, like he said, it's only so many pictures you can take on tour. Right? Like, I mean, the show is the same every night. So if I'm doing the same songs every night, I'm usually doing the exact same things every night. You're seeing the same pictures in different outfits. Right? So at that point, it's like, I probably need it for like the first 3 shows, but what do I keep needing it? You know? And the thing about Ari, right? Like, the crazy thing is my photographer that introduced me to Ari, I replaced him. Because Ari was a Swiss knife. Ari could take the pictures, Ari could shoot the videos, Ari could edit it, Ari could color it, Ari knew how to work digital, Ari knew how to work film, Ari was good around people, so he was good around camera assistants, he was good around all the people, he knew how to speak to someone's assistant, he knew how to speak to the manager. If I want to shoot a video, he knew how to go into the building and talk to the manager, hey man, you know, we want to use, can we shoot outside? He knew how to do all of those things, he knew how to talk, right? And that's really important, because I don't want to talk, you know what I'm saying? So him being in my corner to this day, I can trust that he can knock out what I can pay 2-3 people for, DP, photographer, videographer, editor, colorer, he do it all. So he's Swiss Army knife, right? So while photography is awesome, and it's something he's not gonna say because he don't do photography, I mean he don't do videography. You know what I'm saying? It's be a Swiss Army knife. Be better than just a photographer. It could be your first love, it can be your primary. But also have under your wheelhouse videography, even if you ain't the best at it. But learn it. Take classes in videography so that you separate yourself from the next person. You know, it's just like someone who knows dual languages, right? You'll always kind of have an advantage over someone who just speaks English or just speaks Spanish, you know, because you can operate in that thin line between both. And that's a minority, you know what I'm saying? So, take video classes, you know, try it out, try projects, you know, just so you can get versed in a lane that you may not be strong in, because again, what it does is, and you might find out that you love it. It might be a new passion. But also what it does is it separates you, because if you work on an artist and they do need to shoot a quick ad video or a quick promo, and man, you're right there. You ain't gotta call nobody, and that might be more money for you. Or they might just show, again, your value as a person in that camp. You know? Took up a lot of time.
No, you nailed it. You nailed it. That's the truth. Yeah. I mean, you got it firsthand from an artist. And really, he said everything I said, but he said it better. But it's the truth, you know. You have to be a Swiss Army knife. You have to be able to give a little more. You know what I mean? And you know, he said just like a photographer unpacking his bag, he wasn't too cool. I don't feel like I'm too cool. I unpack George shit. I pick up this man fucking sweaty shoes after he did a show. You have to be more than just what you do. You have to be. Because you can get replaced. And you will get replaced with somebody can do just what Ari does for him. 3, 4, 5 different things. And like he said, not only is he a great shooter, great colorist, all those other things, he knows how to go in and walk in the building and present himself to management or somewhere to say, hey, can we shoot over there? Hey, can we shoot? Don't go in there cocky, don't go in there smelling like weed, don't go in there doing this and that. Be professional. And that's what Ari is he is amazing at that. And that's what you have to do. If you want to be longevity with an artist, or you'll be constantly moving around with different people because you're not holding enough weight in one camp. You know, Ari can keep a job with him for as long as he works. Even if he no longer wants to rap or do whatever and goes into movie making, whatever, Ari will still be with him. Come on, man, that's longevity. That's longevity. That's how you want to be in this industry. You want to be an asset, not a liability. You never want to be a liability, because when you're a liability, you are getting your ass back on that plane, going home.
Sure, you ain't getting back on the plane. You ain't left in the city.
Or that.
You know, for real, shit. I'm going to go home and be fired. You know? Another thing I wanted to say, which this is about touring photography, but I want to talk about, because I don't know what level of photography you guys are, so for beginners level of photography, it's not important, but I think it's really good to establish your thing, right? And what I mean by that is, are you a portraits guy, like Gunna style? Or do you shoot in tan? Do you like tan colors, like Ray's Corrupted Mom for Travis Scott, you know? Or, you know, do you shoot in a certain color tone like Tyler loves? You know, Tyler loves his videos to look a certain way. Or do you shoot in certain aspect ratios? You know, like establish like something that we're like, oh, this is like Gabriel Moses, right? I don't know, y'all know Gabriel Moses? Well, Gabriel Moses he did the Fame video for Travis Scott, and Cardi, he's a London photographer. He did a Jordan commercial with Spike Lee. I mean, you look at Gabriel Moses, if you've never heard of him, his photography he's a dark African English photographer, and his art, everything's dark colors, black and white, is serious, it's grit. It's like, you know, every time you see it, you know who shot this photo. You know, and I think like establishing your thing, which by the way, you can do it all, but I always think when you're in the beginning, it's cool to figure out like what your niche is. What do you like, what's your swag? You know what I'm saying? Like what separates you? What's your, oh man, without even seeing the tag, I know who took that picture. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, it establishes like character. You know, and like, it's like, man, without a signature on a picture, without a stamp on it, I know who shot that. I know who took that picture. And that's cool. You know, that is like, man, that is creating, it's world creating, you know, you're creating a world, you know, and you're building this universe of your work, you know, like, almost like how like Christopher Nolan, most of his movies, they have this very dramatic opening scene, you know, like The Dark Knight or like Tenet, a very dramatic opening scene when the movie starts. And like that's like his thing, you know. You know, so many great directors. We're talking about photography, but so many great directors have things. You know, Spike Lee, he handheld. Spike Lee did a lot of handheld shooting in movies, where it just kind of felt unstable a bit, you know. You know, and he also like always had like B-roll where like somebody would like talk, like break the third wall and talk to camera. That's like his thing back in the day, you know. Establishing something that's yours, right? My videographer John Beck, we do almost, if it's not Ari, it's her. Her thing, I say she's one of the first on the digital video cameras. Years ago, almost a decade ago, on the camcorders. It became this big thing, right? But it was established as her thing. And another thing is, once you do establish something and you get good at it, don't get afraid to switch it up, right? Like, cool, I've been doing this 5 years, I mastered this, I'm gonna do some other shit. Now I'm only shooting black and white. Whatever. But never be afraid to learn more, right? When you get content and complacent, that's when you get replaced. You know, that's when you get forgotten about. You know, you think how some of the best artists, some of the best rappers at a certain time and era usually get forgotten about or left behind because they never switched up their sound. Kanye West is still Kanye West because he has never stayed subject to one record. He's always been able to switch it up. Jay-Z has been able to adjust to any time. Drake, been able to adjust. No matter how old, Future, no matter how old you are, they can adjust to the decade, to the time, to the now. you know, and that's what life is about, because life keeps evolving, life keeps changing, you know, things come back, new things arrive, and being present and being aware, or being ahead of the curve, even better, will always keep you in the conversation, always keep you in the now. We in a world, we're in a digital age right now, where everything is digital, everything's on the internet, you know, everything's about content, YouTube, streaming, TikToks, digital age, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't slowing down, and it's not stopping, and creators are getting younger and younger. You know what I'm saying? And being younger, they have an age advantage over you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we're not even gonna talk about the scary 2 words, AI. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole different world in itself that is just, honestly, I mean, it's amazing, but it's also making a lot of nonsense. But the moral to it is like, nothing is slowing down, right? So, whether you are the most versed in this, or this is your first day, you know, continue to attack it head on, you know, and digest it, and just be great at it, you know, and be the best at it, and don't be discouraged. Another thing, maybe the last thing, maybe not, I'll say is that leave your emotion at the door. You know, when you come and you work for an artist or a celebrity, leave your emotion at the door. So what? Let them, you know, you're here for a job. You're not no one's friend. If you become someone's friend, that's awesome, but you got a job. Who gives a fuck how they talking to you, or how they, like, if you got your bread, leave your emotion at the door. Sometimes they're having a bad day, sometimes they're doing a million things in one day. It's not always personal. Don't take it personal. You know, don't think that they soloing you out and picking on you. Don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really understand, you realistically, just being real, you really never could understand unless you're in there. You know, in those shoes of that life of 50 people asking for money, 50 shoots, you trying to figure out your next dish, you got pressure from the label, you know, you got baby mama, she tripping, all this stuff on that artist. So don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? Leave your emotions, leave your ego, leave it at the door. You know, you are a supporting role in this team. You know, learn that. Play your role to the best, you know, and be liable. You know, be that liable team player, because photographer is a team player. Not the coach, not the point guard, not the star, but your role is so important. Extremely, you capturing this moment. So be that team player and be like the best team player. You know? Never be too big, you know? Like I was in the yearbook staff in high school, and I decided, like, man, I want to be in front of the camera. They get more money, right? So I switched, right? Because I had to get behind the camera, and I was like, yeah, I want to be the star. But as a photographer, you're not, right? You know, so so that's important, and not to feel any way about that, you know? Okay.
Yo, I'm just gonna tell you, my dad crawled so I could walk so he could fucking run. And that's what this is about. It's a legacy. He has been, and I'm not just bragging on him because he's my fucking son, but you hear it in him. He loved this shit. Like, and I mean, the art of it and being, the key word that I take away from it is being intentional. You gotta be intentional. If you look at his videos are so dope. He's intentional. You gotta care about it. You can't just be the person that whatever they say, just do it. Be intentional about your work. Be intentional about how it looks. It's your work. At the end of the day, it represents you. So that's the beauty of this. You know, if y'all got any questions for us, I'd love to answer a question or two or three. It's on y'all. Yes.
Earlier you had mentioned about, like, okay, say if you shooting a wedding, you know, yeah, it's about the husband and the wife, or whatever. But something that might matter to them might be getting a shot of grandma or grandpa.
Yeah.
When it comes to being a tour photographer, what are some shots that matter. I mean, your son was saying, hey, you know, photography may take thousands of pictures, you know, but what shots maybe matter?
So like he said, he it's just a different outfit every night on stage and all that kind of stuff. So again, like I said earlier, the important shots that I look for are the shots, because every night is a different city. Every night they're seeing different family members, they're seeing different friends. His friends that are in New York are not gonna be the same friends that he's gonna see in LA. Or the friends that he's gonna see when he comes home to Atlanta and the whole dressing room full of folks he went to school with, folks he kicked it with. Those are beautiful moments. Those type of moments that are very important because they're personal. They're very personal. You ain't worried about what's being posted. You're worrying about what is personal to him, or personal to the artist, you know, that you're hired to shoot. Those moments. When the artists come to their city, they get to go home, their family comes. Those are personal, great moments. Anybody else?
Real quick on top of that.
Yeah.
It's important to get to know the person you're working for.
Boom.
You know? And that way you don't have to guess. You don't have to guess. You ask them. I mean, what you like, man? What you like? Why'd you hire me? Why'd you hire me? What you like about my work or me? What was it? What you looking for when you out there? Did you like the yesterday? You like that? Or was it too much? Ask them, right? All that guessing and hoping, like, it could work, but you also can just be very vocal, right? Like, establishing a good connection with your client is everything, you know? Communicating, it's so vital. Don't guess, don't assume, don't go off of your knowledge of cameraology. Ask them, what you like? What's your favorite? You know, I always ask people, what's your favorite movie? Because they say so much to me. And if you tell me your favorite movie, it tells me so much about, and that's not a good thing or a bad thing, but it tells me so much about what kind of person you are. Because I'm gonna ask you that, and I'm gonna ask you why. What about it? And that's gonna tell me even more. You know what I'm saying? Or what's your favorite album? Oh, okay. Like next Friday, right? You know? But wait, you ask, right? You ask that person because they're hiring you to do a job, and you don't want to guess. You want to get it right, and you realistically you want to get brought back. So just ask. Don't be afraid to communicate, whatever that is. Hey man, I know in your dressing room and you chilling right now. Do you want pictures right now? You know, or no? You good? You know what I'm saying? It'll take, like, I'll tell you one thing. Tyler hates when people take his picture. He absolutely fucking hates it. He don't care if we on stage or he hates it, especially if he is backstage and he is chilling, right? And my cameraman didn't know that. He had to learn that the hard way. Right? Because, you know, most artists, they fly and they want to be that picture taker. You know, when we just got off an album on tour, and in the beginning, you know, cameraman come in, Tyler come in, say, hey, all my people, is very respectful. Cameraman, don't do that. He hated it. You know? He hated when you snuck a picture, right? So then my photographer and him got a big relationship to where then Tyler started to be like, nah, yeah, you can film this. You know what I'm saying? But it all started with just asking. Don't assume. Don't think, oh, they in a good mood. I'm gonna just ask, right? Until you get to the point when y'all like, you don't gotta ask, right? And that comes very soon with the build of trust over time. But if you the new face, ask, you know? Like, I asked, A, if it's cool at this time, B, what would you like, right? And sometimes if they're creative, they'll tell you this, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna just do your thing. And then, you know, that's up to you.
Great answer. Dan, you pick on this brother right here.
Yeah, so this is great. Really good to hear from you. So as an artist, right? So I'm somebody that consumes your music and appreciates the creativity, right? Because you as a creative, I can see like how involved you are in your creative process through your videos, through your music, through all of the avenues, right? What would make a photographer successful with you, who is super involved in the creative process with everything that you put out, versus an artist who's less, I don't know if you know what I'm trying to get at, like less.
What would make a photographer successful with me versus
an artist who's less like particular?
Like what? Like, are you asking me what's the difference? Or are you asking me what like how? You asking me how does a photographer succeed with someone who isn't as
Yeah, so you might it seems like you would maybe know more specifically what you would want,
Right.
or what you would like. How does a photographer, how does that differ from somebody who has less of a...
So it's difficult, right? Because honestly, more than likely, you'll get that one. You get the less involved, right? You get the less more. A lot of them don't care, right? Me and Ari shot a video this year, top of this year, or in the last year for really big artists. We co-directed a video for a huge artist. That was actually our first time co-directing for someone who wasn't me. And this person didn't fuck. They didn't have no input. They didn't want to be there. The manager told us we was going to get 8 hours. He came for 2. He left. He was sick. He didn't want to do it. He didn't fuck about the shots. He didn't fuck about nothing. He didn't care, right? And me and Ari did it, but I had a show. So I was like, I'm sorry, brother, you got to do it alone, right? I did it on Zoom, and Ari was the nicest, sweetest little Colombian guy, right? So he don't really got that much of a voice, real timid, but they paid well. And you at that point, what you have to do is be what you're called to be, and that's a creative, right? If you are doing something with someone who maybe aren't as creative, there has to be a reason you were picked, right? Unless you just walk around doing it for free and ain't have nobody else, and you're just the last option, right? Even if use that as an opportunity. But you always got to think of, man, if someone calling your phone, DMing you, emailing you for a job and gig, there's a reason. Which means that you're supposed to be there, which means that it was intended for you to be there. So you carry that presence. I'm supposed to be here. It's the reason I'm here. So don't judge, don't second guess your judgment. Do what you're doing, be a creative. You know? It can be frustrating. But at times like that, man, you gotta put your big boy pants on and do what you think is right.
Yeah. Somebody else?
In your early breakdown phase, like when you first started, what was like the differentiating setting point where you was able to like? I said when you first started and you was in your like running gun phase for both of you, what was like the differentiator to help y'all establish yourself more professional and in the light of like y'all are in bigger places and in like more establishments that are not like taking you more serious?
Who's that question for? I would say for me, you got to surround yourself with people that for me, people that know what they're doing, that already have done it before. You know, you kind of want you never be afraid to ask for some help, or never be afraid to be like, can I tag along? You know, again, goes back to working for free. Go assist somebody for the free, and you'll learn. You know, you got to be around some OGs. You know, you'll learn the game through interning and being okay with soaking up some game and some knowledge. My man.
Oh yeah. So earlier you had mentioned that you were more of a shy photographer, and you kind of got out of that in the past decade. So I just wanted to ask, like, what steps did you take to kind of break out of that? And then I guess this could apply for the both of you.
He ain't never been shy.
I was gonna say, nothing about me.
Just knowing that I gotta break out of this shy shit. You know, it's just something. It was personal. You know, it was just something I just had to do. You know, you get better shots when you know how to talk. You do.
I also think maybe that, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but as you built your portfolio and you got more known around the city, you know, that probably added a little confidence.
That added a huge amount of confidence because people started to know me, and they started to know who I was. When he was young, I used to take him on shoots with me, and he was so good at an early age. I would ask him ideas on where should I shoot or things, because at a very early age, he just picked up and got a niche for things. Like, you know how like when y'all were young, you might have been watching the Disney Channel or some shit. You know, he was watching movies like Orange Clockwork. Anybody know what that movie is? Oh, okay. So you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that was a fucking kid watching movies like that. So he wasn't watching regular TV. He was already getting deep into directors that was really creating art. He didn't care about certain budget films. He was into people that was creating art. So, it became a thing where I started looking to him for stuff, asking him questions, and what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because I saw his hunger for art and his thirst for it. So that helped me a lot, in that. You were gonna ask something as well. Yes.
I'm actually going to ask a question. I think I just want to drop like a genuine compliment to you, because I generally just enjoy how unfiltered and authentic, your authenticity that you brought to this class, because I think like sometimes you go to classes and everybody tries to be over polite, and I'm not saying that's wrong, but I kind of just respect it more from where you're coming from and like telling us. So that's why I just wanted to say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Is anybody else before we end it? One in the back, my man in the back.
First of all, Mr. Shannon, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate what you did for the culture. I'm honored to be here. I'm here by coincidence, to be frank, so pardon this question that might be a little out of bounds of photography, if you will. But as a father, I have my son here today. We here by coincidence again. But I just have a level of respect for what you've done as a father, as a black man in our industry, in our world, in our America, if you will. And I just kind of wanted to ask you, with you being a father and being a creative, what were some of the things that you made sure, or you could give me advice on, perhaps how to navigate, just maybe sometimes you might be too on your kid. I don't know if you had that when you was raising him as a child, or what are some of what is some of the advice that you could give someone like myself, who is also a creative and a dad with a young son, who is also interested in creativity as well? What's some advice, anything that you could offer?
Man, you know what? First off, thank you so much for the kind words, bro. And I love that question, because let me say something, and it's so awesome I get to say him with him here, because when his mother was pregnant and we found out we were having a boy, I was young and I was into jazz. And I said to her, please let's name him Miles. I was so into Miles Davis, because Miles Davis was so cool, and his swag and his music and the way he used to approach on stage. He would turn his back to the audience and he would say, you don't need to see me, you just need to hear me, okay? So that was so powerful to me. So when she agreed and she was on board with the name, I used to put the radio up to her stomach. You know what I mean? Let him hear an album called Kinda Blue by Miles Davis. It's still to this day the #1 jazz selling album of all time. It's such a vibe album. When he came about, remember we used the word intentional? Everything with this dude right here was intentional for me. Everything. This was my little nigga, man. I mean, I swear to God, man. I used to take him everywhere. He was my shadow. Like you got your boy with you? Like that's your guy? This was my guy. And we did everything together. We hung out. I took him to the museum. I said I wanted him to like art. I want him to love art because I love art. I told him, I don't want you to dress like all these little fucking kids in the neighborhood. I don't want you to be like them. I want you to dress and be on your own shit. I want you to move in your lane. I don't care if they laugh at you and say you wearing pastel colors or whatever. This is you. Do you, be confident in it. He loved pizza. Guess what? We ain't going to Pizza Hut. We going to a spot that got brick oven pizza. They make real good pizza. We ain't going to Domino's. We going to where they got a love for pizza making. Okay? I work for Delta Airlines. Guess what I wanted to do? I wanted him to see more in Atlanta. I wanted him to get out his zip code. I wanted to show him some shit. This was my nigga right here. From 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wanted him to see it. I swear, on everything I love, bro, I had no idea he was going to become who he became. I had no idea. But I ain't care. I just wanted to love this little nigga so he could be a good person in life, so he could go see some shit, so he can impress some girls with his music knowledge. I used to play him anything that was the radio we didn't listen to. He got an earful of all the other shit from me. He teased me the other day because he ain't never get no R&B from me. I wasn't playing that in the car. We was playing other shit. I want him to be worldly. Make your little dude worldly, man. Make him global. My mama used to say, I wanted you to be a global citizen. I got that. You feel that? A global citizen. That means stamping a passport. Go see some shit.
All right.
Listen, I'm serious about this dad shit. So yeah.
Hold on, real quick. I want to add to that. I want to add to that because, you know, I think that what I would say is that when I was young, right, and Kanye's not lying, he made me go to so many things. And at the time, I hated it. Like, no kid is trying to go see pictures on a wall, right? Like, and he took me to all these parties and all these, like, festivals, and like, man, as a kid, I would be dreading it. But then when I got to middle school and high school, I was so far ahead than everyone around me. Like, I was so versed in everything. Like, everything, right? And even from like the conversations young about like not wanting to dress like other kids, right? Because at the time, as a kid, I mean, it's hard not to fall into influence, right? Like, it's you're young, your friends doing it, it's cool, right? Brad was talking about it, it's cool, but he was so adamant on whatever the opposite was, right? Like, I'll never forget one time he was wearing like New Balances, and this was way before people was wearing New Balances, and I was like, Dad, what the fuck are those? What the fuck are those? They're some fucking Jordans, right? I actually didn't say it like that. In my head, that's how I said it. But he was always so adamant on like, nah, man, do what you want to do. He always drove a vintage car. When I was young, I was like, Dad, this is an old car, a new car. But then I got 7 vintage cars now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it all came from, because it's so important nowadays with my daughter, I try to, is, man, they pay such close attention to everything, right? If I don't know how it would have been if I grew up and, you know, he was like, oh man, you see that, they gay. Don't be like them. Don't be like, ugh. Like if he was one of those type of fathers, like shunning things, and I've actually never heard him shun anything in life ever. Like, I've never heard, and I'm a big hater. I ain't never heard him hate on nothing. Even to this day, of 28, 29 years of my life, I've never heard him hate on anything. And that's weird. Because we be hating out here. Some shit to hate on. But this man ain't never hated. I never heard him say, man, that album sucked. I never heard him say, man, that artist sucked. I never heard him say, man, that movie sucked. I never heard him say, oh man, this food sucked. I never heard him speak negative about anything. And I never even thought about that till this very moment. Like, I've never heard him, like, because that rubs off on your child. And I'm sure that's not intentional, but it's just him being that type of person. Like I don't know what kind of person I would have been if I was a kid and he was always hating on some shit. You know, these gay dudes, or like, man, this music whack, or like, I just don't know what kind of person I would have been. I'm probably a lot different. You know, growing up, I never experienced hatred, like, on things or people or lifestyles, so I wasn't that way. You know, I never had, because you are, you know, a descendant of your parents, right? So I think that's something important to add. And also, it's also important to add that, you know, your child is a child, so he don't know. He don't always know what you're trying to teach him, but you still remain adamant because it will make sense later on down the line. You know what I'm saying? Even in those times when it's rebellion and y'all going, you know, you gotta stand your ground, because I promise it will pay off down the line. You know, all the things that my parents taught me at a young age helped me shapeshift, you know, and watching him, you know, the whole working all week at the airport, then literally getting off and going to the state is so real. I watched this man travel around the world every freaking week, right? And it was sometimes when I was like, damn, where Dad at? Word. But he was working. Word. And then I got into the hustler state of mind in high school, and you couldn't pay me to sit in one city. You couldn't pay me, and now my career 10 years, it's my 10th year in music, hustling is it's a second nature. Getting on that plane in the morning, getting on another plane that night, the next day, whatever, you stand up, you don't sleep, whatever for the bag. You know what I'm saying? So like, but that also, again, that came from seeing it. And I'm not saying he came from money, because he didn't. But he had the mindset of a hustler. Seriously, you know, and without, because we didn't even have those talks. We didn't really have money talks and that type of stuff, but I saw it.
That's right.
Right? I'm just saying, like, man, the things you do in front of your child go such a long way. You know?